Fan Media of the Year goes to the Anfield Wrap, of course. Neil, you've been at these awards many times. Nice to get the award.
Yeah, it's good to win this one. We've won a couple of others in the past, and winning this one's really, really good. As far as I'm concerned, the Anfield Wrap isn't the best fan media company, production company in the country. It is pound for pound the best media production company in the country, and that's because the only thing that works harder than the Anfield Wrap is Jurgen Klopp's first team. It grafts like no one's business. It produces an unbelievable amount of glorious content. It works with so many people. There's so many people in the room. We've had James on, we've had Kelly on, the two people who were up there with us. You know, I can see Rory Smith out there. We've had David Mooney on. We've had the Stacey West on. You know, I'm just looking at it out there and seeing the guests, and it's so many people we've been so lucky to work with, learn from, and enjoy. And right now we're enjoying doing what we do, the way in which we do it, which is to find ways to tell stories from the bottom up and to tell the story of supporting Liverpool from the heart of the city.
Absolutely. You've been around for a few years, you guys, haven't you? You go from strength to strength by the looks of it, Craig. I mean, how do you sort of sum up, you know?
Well, we started in 2011 and we've continued to grow and no longer are we just podcasts. Now we're a video subscription service. We have writing, we have our own app now, and that's something that we want to continue to do. We want to continue to grow and we want to continue to innovate and as Neil says, to tell the story of what it is to be a Liverpool fan, because we want our listeners and our viewers to, whether they're from Liverpool or whether they're from Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, Norway, wherever, we want them to feel as if they're there, feel as if they're close to it, and if Liverpool win a big game and we're in the pub celebrating, we want them to know what that feels like wherever in the world they are.
Well, that's it. I mean, Liverpool's such a global club. There's so much going on, especially at the moment. Flipping heck, it's such a challenge, of course, to stay on top of that, and as you say, make everybody feel kind of included, but you guys obviously managed to do it somehow.
Yeah, it's something which is authentic to us, and I think that's something that we sort of try and share with, one of our slogans is that we share the journey of supporting Liverpool Football Club, and I think that's something which comes naturally to a lot of us, and we're lucky as well to have a really talented contributor base, and lucky to have the buy-in of our listeners as well, which is a massively important thing to us. We wouldn't be able to function without either of those things, so I think it comes naturally to us, but there's also a lot of hard work that goes into it.
Absolutely. And of course, at the moment, Neil, riding high in the Premier League. Go on, are you going to win the league this year?
I think we're the favourites for a reason. We've been the best team in the country so far this season. There's still a long way to go. There's still challenges to be seen off. Got to hit the turn and see where we end up. But I think if we've still got this sort of points gap come February, March, it'll be difficult to keep playing it down. But play it down for now we must, because we don't want to be the side who for the fourth time atop of Christmas and don't do the business. So that's the job that's in front of not in front of me. Thankfully, it's the lads who run around, yes, and it's a real relief. It's a real relief. It's down to the lads who run around and not down to me and the people who coach them and manage them and look after them. Yeah. They'll look after that bit, and we'll look after the talking wham.
Yeah, it's as close to a yes as I knew I was going to get. But Craig, I mean, it's exciting times, and of course, when you're involved in the fan media and so on, it does put an extra bit of spring in your step when you're out there doing the podcast and all the media, as you say.
Of course it does. Like, I feel sorry for the journalists sometimes that they're in the press room, like writing their match reports and getting everything out, and we're in the pub celebrating, and then we get to tell that story to our listeners, and yeah, no, it's true, isn't it? We get the best of both worlds as fan media. We get to be in the stands, we get to feel what it feels whenever Liverpool beat Barcelona 4-0 and we're in the Kop, and then we get to tell that story again. It's the best job in the world.
Absolutely. Well, you get to celebrate this one tonight, gentlemen, so it might not be the Premier League yet, but it's
soon.
This one's in the bag. This one is confirmed. They can't take it away from us now.
I'm convinced the Premier League can't be heavier than this either.
All right, lads, well done.
Can
Pleasure.
I also say as well, thank you to our subscribers and thank you to our contributors as well, because they're the lifeblood of what the Anfield Wrap is, and we get to come here to the awards and lift the trophy, but we have over 90 contributors and they all play a massive part in it.
Yeah, forgive me for trying to conclude the interview quicker there. That was well worth it.
Quarters of an hour, but we'll let you go now.
Nice one, lads. Pleasure.